1888, terror rips through London on the streets of Whitechapel as prostitute after prostitute continues dropping like flies as Jack the Ripper rips through the east side. I'm your host, Casey.
I'm Joe Bud Joe.
And I'm Matt.
So you want to jump on into this like Jack the Ripper jumped into those prostitutes' fucking abdomens?
Oh yeah, he got up in those bitches. Huh? He got up in
those. Oh yeah, that's sexy.
Yeah.
So what do you guys know about Jack the Ripper? Because I know you guys didn't do your research. We talked about this prior.
Yeah. I know he killed like 5 prostitutes in the white something district. And I know they never got the guy, and I know he did weird
stuff. It was
stuff.
literally in my intro was what the fucking name of the place was, you piece of shit.
I got like a short-term thing going. I don't know what it is.
It's Whitechapel. Whitechapel, my friend.
Whitechapel?
Sexual sadism or...
Yeah, it got renamed. I don't really care about the renaming because I probably couldn't even pronounce it anyway. But I watched this... sorry, I just fucking choked on my spit. But
sure wasn't something else? In case you're joking on cum.
Wasn't he one of the first like publicized like murder? You know, like now people are like, oh, Jeffrey Dahmer, like shit like that. People like
he was like the first publicized like serial killer. How do you say that word right there? That canonical or conical?
Canonical or canonical. Wait, canonical. Wait.
Canonical.
Yeah, canonical. Yeah, it's canonical. It like
okay.
I'm pretty sure.
That's what they call. That's what they call the 5 ones. Yeah. Well, that's what I think. That's what it looks like. So that's what they call the 5. The 5 murders.
Yeah, dude. They were canon to the story.
yeah. There's the canonical 5. Those are the 5. Those are the 5 main murders that were attributed to the Jack the Ripper murders. So from 1888 to 1891, these attacks plagued the streets of Whitechapel, usually involving female prostitutes.
Wait, hold on. So your notes actually say "so from," like so from.
It's because when I'm typing, I'm thinking. When I go to read it, so that's how I want to start it off. You know, like so from Shut the fuck up, dude. There's probably a lot of them.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, my bad.
Yeah, I bet you didn't know we can see each other. Cunt. No,
oh, I didn't know that it actually did that. So when I wrote ass clap, you seen that?
Yeah.
Oh, you called me a cunt. Okay. Hey, yeah, that's pretty cool. Thing. Yeah. But all right, I won't fuck with the notes anymore. Sorry, I didn't know it actually showed it.
This is just a copy of them, so you can just do whatever. But this is I'm just reading off of this one. I have my other one open too. But all right. So these attacks happened from 1888 to 1891, and these attacks were not all attributed to the Jack the Murderer attacks. Jack the Ripper attacks. Jack the Murderer attacks. Jack the Ripper attacks. There was multiple other ones that like it's up for debate. You know, like who knows? But there's at least 5 of them that were attributed to it, and they're all of them. Their throats were cut prior to their. I can't talk. Their throats were cut, their bodies were mutilated, and their organs were removed from at least 3 of them, leading people to believe that there's someone with prior knowledge to either surgical or they had like knowledge of the anatomy field, like if they were a butcher and whatnot.
Yeah, we're a fucking doctor. Yeah, and it really sucked because he really left a lot of other like serious crimes in the shadows. Like there was Zach the rapist, and nobody ever gave him any attention. So these serial rapes went on for 1 year.
Oh, here they are. It's I didn't even see
Zach
this right
the
here.
Shafter.
That's my next note. There was actually 11 murders that were committed. in Whitechapel between April 3rd, 1888 to February 13, 1891. And that's where our timeline comes in. And then we have our 5 main victims that Joseph was going to tell you about.
Oh,
No, just kidding.
Marianne Nichols,
Now,
Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Freud.
So there were 4, or not 4. There were 4 that we cared about, but there was 5 total. No, I'm just kidding. No, there were 5 victims to the Ripper killings, and known as the Ripper 5. Ha ha ha. Just kidding. No, just kidding. I know you can see the this, but that's why I said that.
Oh, dude, did it say it?
Just kidding.
He was a ripper.
Because I was gonna make a joke right there, but
he ripped these 5 young ladies. He was a rapist. In a dark
he actually
way.
did remove one of the girls' uteruses.
Sick.
So I mean, technically, well, actually, we get into it. But
that's how the homie Ed Gaines too.
So there are 5 of them, and we know them as the what is it? Canonical? How do you
Canonical.
say it? Canonical
5.
Canonical 5. And
Where's
then,
the
but
rule
we
with
have
that?
2 honorable mentions, and that's what the.
Here's our. What are we watching, Mojo? Before we get to our top pick, here's some honorable mentions.
No, but really,
that one bitch who got her throat ripped out.
These 2 were never like. How do you? What's the fucking word I'm looking for?
They were never like confirmed.
Attributed, confirmed that.
Yeah, so they weren't like canon to
ones, yeah. So we have Emma Elizabeth Smith and Martha Tamram. Tamaram? How do you say it? Tambram? Something shit like that.
I have no idea.
They're not included in the canonical 5. How do you say it? Canonical? Canonical?
Canonical.
Yeah.
Canonical 5. But we will talk about them still because I feel like the way that the murder, like once we get into it, Joseph will tell you about it. But once we get into it, when I feel like it was him ramping up to like his more like I feel like it was more like a distressed him like, oh, I'm more in a distress kind of thing, at first, but then afterwards he got like tactical with it. He's like, okay, I know I can do this. I can do it like a boss now.
Let's do this.
You know what I mean?
Clean.
He's a flash grenade. He went in there.
Oh, hey.
The murders were never solved, and the legend surrounds these crimes between a combination of historical research, folklore, pseudo history, and capturing public imagination to this present day.
So I have reason to believe that Matthew is a reincarnation of one of these victims.
Possibly. Or we could say that
whatever one was the biggest whore, that was Matthew.
Yeah, Matthew always had this like fear of getting his breast and vagina removed.
So before we get into the victims, let's talk about the time.
5. Hold on, let me just say if I'm gonna choose one, the canonical 5. Let me.
Well, you pick one, Matthew. While you read the stats and the pros and cons of each character.
Body count.
Yeah.
Body count.
Once you look at the KD ratios, let us know.
Body count.
Chapman seemed
35.
like a gaper. Any Chapman seemed like a gaper. That could have been me.
Nice.
In my
STDs,
past life,
3.
Let's before we get into these we could talk about Matthew gaping all day, that's a whole podcast on its own. Tune in for Patreon. Tune into our Patreon where we live stream Matthew gaping his asshole. Just kidding.
Or you can find the other video on the internet, the Jar Squatter. That's me, guys.
Matthew rips his ass open and goes,
Squatter.
That means it likes you.
Kenny Chapman, dude. I don't even see her ankles in this photo. Are we sure that she's a slut?
No, but so before we get into
his laptop looks like it has dried jizz in the fucking
talking about these 7 ladies, the 5 canonical, and then the 2 honorable mentions. I just want to talk about how London was at that time. Whitechapel was basically the slums. It was the south side of
How do
fucking
you wait? How do
London,
you
you know?
think? How do you think they got picked up by like men? Like somebody just comes out with their like A game and like London back then. Hello, hello, hello.
Well, they had like whorehouses, right?
Yeah.
On
Let
this
me
road.
take a
And then
flicker at your knickers. He just like flicks.
they had whorehouses, and then they also had people who owned houses in Whitechapel they had multiple rooms, and then basically turn it into a whorehouse. Like it'd be like, oh yeah, you come in here, you get some girl, you get some bed, you get some drink. You know what I mean?
How many pounds would it take for you to to take a fuck? I can't get it. How many pounds would it take for you to ride my jolly trolley? Don't know what you mean.
Would you
good
like to
sir.
ride the Jolly Trolley? Would you like to ride the Jolly Trolley?
Put your dick away, Richard.
Put your goddamn cock away. No, so it was basically the slums. These a lot of these women that were murdered, they were all alcoholics. Uh from every account that I found, like they basically just worked sucking dick and fucking dudes all day just to be able to pay for their room for the night and then
Nice.
their next like few glasses of fucking gin. Like I guess that was their shit.
Hey, don't slut shame them.
I'm not. There was a lady as old as 45 doing it.
Hell yeah. Well, you knew her
God bless
clientele
her
were
soul.
fucking regulars. Like she was just like a crowd favorite.
You know, she could suck a fucking golf ball through a garden hose, let me tell you. I forgot
No,
which one that was.
don't you? She could suck a bowler hat off a fine fat gentleman. Jeez. I don't know. I don't know. I was trying to think of something that would be related to that area. Probably
So,
not accurate. No.
nah, dude. Oh, it's fucking. You know how nice it must have been to be a serial killer back then? Like, you got no video cameras, no DNA evidence.
You'll
No
never catch
fucking.
me. Your forensic team is folly. Yeah.
Ah,
You know
that's
which
how
way
I
went.
feel like if
What
they
was
would have
it?
caught him, that's how the chase would have been like, oh, there he is. No,
Ah, he
no.
disappeared. No, quick. He grabbed her. Quick, just follow the eggs.
Get your paper here. Find out about Jack the Ripper. He's escaped police custody yet again. Yeah. Fucking cunts. No, dude. I guess the police force that was around that time too. I guess they were very untrusted by the public as well. So they used to call them I think it was the Blue Devils or the Red Lobsters, is I believe what they called them. Don't ask me why. I don't
Red
know.
Lobster sounds a lot more offensive than Blue Devils. But I mean, Blue Devils would make sense.
Well, that's what I was trying to like. I was trying to say. I was like,
Won't
oh,
you do
well,
your
what?
job, you
Okay,
bloody Red Lobster? Bully!
so I looked up
Brad
some
next to him.
pictures of them, and like what I got from I don't know where the red came from, but like they wear like those like helmet hats, and they have like they're just whatever old timey fucking cop outfits are, and I was like, I guess he does kind of look like a lobster. But I don't know where the red came from because his uniform is either blue
Yeah,
or
and they just travel
black.
around with their batons and they'd accidentally swing them at foreigners, racist fucks. Um,
Hey, what are you? I'm a Jew. Beat his ass. That's basically
why don't you
there,
find Jack?
there was a lot of prejudice against the Jewish people
Yeah, no,
back
it
in the
was a
day.
hard one on
So
that one. What's it called?
fucked up.
Do you know why they called him Jack the Ripper? Like, where'd the name Jack come from?
So there was a news reporter, and I think he coined it. Let me do a quick search real quick just to make sure I'm getting it right.
Because I mean, it flows incredibly well. I'm just curious where they got the Jack part from.
The moniker Jack the Ripper originates from a letter which may have been a hoax published by the time of the attack. Oh, I forgot about this. So let me see. Okay, so in 1888, the Central News Agency received a letter written in red ink and boasted about the Ripper's crimes, aiding in his signature, Jack the Ripper. But I thought there was another reason why. I thought some Oh, you know what? I think some news station said it was called something else, and then that letter came in.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check real quick because I feel like that's gonna bother me. Matthew, do any reading while you been sitting there silently, not even chiming in?
Oh, we. No.
Oh, there they go.
Oh, there I go, killing again.
Oh, just one of the people they claimed was Jack the Ripper was a Polish Jewish person. There they go, being racist again. No, I seen him. I seen his schnauzer on the way out. Schnauzer? Is that another name for nose? What is that?
Yes. Yes.
Nice snow.
Here's the letter where the Jack the Ricker Jack the Ricker. This episode of Jack the Ripper.
Morty, yeah, we're there. Ripper Sanchez, Morty.
So it's called the Dear Boss letter. It was written in red ink, and it was 2 pages long, and it contained several spelling and punctuation errors. And the overall motivation of the author was evidently to mock the investigative efforts and elude future murders. And the letter itself reads, Dear Boss, I keep on hearing police have caught me, but they won't fix me just yet. I've laughed when they looked so clever and they talked about being on the right track. That joke about leather apron gave me real fits. I'm down on the whores and I shan't quit ripping them until I do get buckled. Grand work. The last job was
I gave you gotta read this with a British hilarious accent.
Well, Joseph, you should read this then.
Bro, he's just trying to get fuckled.
Here, let me
He's trying to get fuckled. I'm out here having a good time in my life. I'm just trying to get fuckled.
Just trying to get fuckled and buckled.
Trying to get buckled down and fuckled down. Am I right?
I pictured that he actually didn't sound like hella badass, that he would be like hella jolly British.
Gosh, I'm just out here trying to have the best time of my life. I'm just trying to get fuckled. I don't care what it takes. I just want to get fuckled on the stage.
It's hard to read because there is a lot of errors in it, so it's like that's why I was kept pausing and shit, because it's not like a flowing sentence or anything. On some of them.
Gee, boss, I keep on hearing the police have caught me, but they won't fix me just yet. I've laughed, and when they look so clever and talk about being on the right track, that joke about leather apron gave me the real fits. I am down on whores, and I shan't quit ripping them till I do get buckled. Grand work for the last job was. I gave the lady no time to squeal. How can they catch me now? I love my work, and I want to start again. You'll soon hear me with my funny little games. I saved some of the proper red stuff in a ginger beer. Bought over the last job. I keep stopping. But it went thick like glue and I can't use it. Red ink is fit enough, I hope. Ha ha. The next job I do, I shall clip the lady's ears off and send to the police officers. Just for jolly, wouldn't you? Keep this letter back till I do a bit more work. Then give it out straight. My knife's so nice, nice and sharp, I want to get to work right away. If I get a chance. Good luck. Yours truly, Jack the Ripper. Don't mind me giving the trade name. P.S. I wasn't good enough to post this before I got all the red ink off my hands. Curse it. No luck yet. They say I'm a doctor now. Ha ha. I kept pausing too much in that, but I didn't know.
No, it's hard. It's hard to read. The way he wrote it is fucking. It doesn't flow good.
It's just the way those naughty English talk.
Yeah, when you were talking in when you were doing the accent, I was like, oh, I see how you do the pause, stop, and continue talking. I was like, I could see it. I was like, I wasn't reading it like that though. I wanted to read it continuously. But it worked. It worked though. It made sense. When you were doing it like that, I was like, oh, okay, now it makes sense. But the way I was reading, I was trying to flow through it quick, and I was like, I was stumbling over everything.
Oh, it's just Deacon Bane. He said, he said the leather apron thing. He was laughing because that's one of the names he had was leather apron and the Whitechapel.
Well, I guess there was actually a guy that walked around Whitechapel, and he wore a leather apron all the time, and people called him Leather Apron, and I guess he was one of the suspects for it.
Oh shit!
And the Whitechapel murderer, which does not sound as good.
Guys, what if we're all NPCs, and we're just NPCs, and then the murderers are actual real life people, and they're characters, and they're playing a game. They jump into this world and they're like, oh, dude, I'm bored. I'm going to fucking kill people and get away with it.
Oh, you mean, what is this? A typewriter that writes best writing novels, but the murdering novels, but the murders happen in real life? Ooh. I'm just kidding. No, that'd be crazy.
Just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
I think about that sometimes, because, no, I don't think anybody's, playing me as a video game, because if they are, they're doing a very shitty job, and they should just not even play video games. I'm
they're doing the best they can, their kid. The worst character.
I feel like they were just like, oh yeah, you can play this piece of shit, and they just give it to their kid and just let them play my life.
It's like, fuck yeah. If that'll make you happy, just fucking keep complaining, I guess.
And then, my life is actually going to shit. And then his kid's actually happy. And then his life is actually shitty because he has somebody else controlling him.
Dude, you haven't played your Human on Earth character in a long time. Well, it's kind of depressing. Well,
he's a fucking alcoholic and a drug addict.
Well, what do you want me to do? It's like, I don't know, just give him a beer and sit in front of a computer. Fuck, I don't know. I'm done with that game. I'm playing Sluts on Mars.
Sluts got buzz on Mars.
It's just a bunch of bacteria touching each other. Oh yeah, you sick fuck.
It's like the little tentacles,
just like little tiny organisms, just fucking barely.
Oh yeah, you like that? You like interlinking our fucking tentacles, huh? Yeah, you little slutty bitch. You mitochondrial slut.
Oh man. No,
but that would be crazy as fuck. Hey girl. Let me get
We're in a futuristic society where they keep hella humans inside of a virtual world, and they try to solve crimes by sending one person into an era and setting it as close to accurate as possible in a Jack the Ripper fucking thing. And then we just think it's history, but it's actually them trying to solve a crime that was completely different. The guy just flew off the rails and started murdering hella.
He's like, I'm here to solve a crime, but what's to stop me to make it more?
It's like the actual accurate history is they killed 2 people, but this person decided, well, I'm going to have to kill more if I'm going to have to figure out exactly how he did it. And then I
need to know his time frame. How much time did this motherfucker have to kill this person? Hey, whore, you get over here. Yeah,
you with the saggy tits, but a very perky
what can I get for $10? Well, that would get you for the whole night. I don't know what the wages were back then, but I'm probably sure. Well, they had pity motels, so I mean, it was like a 10-cent motel or some shit like that. So they only had to get a couple pennies. I think it was like a couple pennies, and then that was a motel. So I mean, $10 would get you fucking. That'd probably be your wife.
You guys ever see that Johnny Depp movie about Jack the Ripper?
No.
And he's like a detective,
I see it.
and he's an opium addict. I'm pretty sure I might be mixing with a different movie, but it's like Jack the Ripper's like a fucking, I think something to do with like medical shit, like a doctor thing, but I don't
Well,
know.
that's
But
yeah. The
also
Well,
grave
grave
yeah,
robbing
robbing. Grave
that's
robbing
what a
was
lot
a
of people were
possible.
saying. Oh, From Hell,
Yeah, from hell.
2001. I never seen that movie. I've
He
never
was
even heard of
very
this.
surgical in
It's
his practice. The way
yeah.
he like
He
the
ends up
way
doesn't
he
he end up dying
mutilated
at the end or
bodies. He
no?
was very He
I
was
don't remember.
he knew exactly what he was doing. He knew the knife well enough to cut, and he was super precise on
Well,
what
they said.
how
Well,
he
they
mutilated.
say that all his murders, his he'd only have like 5 minutes in between, like from him killing the
Yeah.
bitch and then
Mhm.
fucking ripping the organs out. He'd only have five
Yeah,
minutes, and
this
he
is
never
also
left a
coming.
mess.
This is also coming from a
Mhm.
time where didn't they fucking like doctors would pay for shit like that, like for dead bodies and shit.
Oh, they probably would.
Well,
Yeah,
well,
yeah, yeah.
doctors were out in the
Science.
graves, like they were out in the like graveyards and fucking digging up cadavers and shit, so they
Yeah.
can figure out shit.
Like the whole Heron Burke thing, they were getting paid for like because the fresher the body, the fucking better the pay. So they were just strangling like prostitutes left and right, and just fucking selling them to doctors.
But the thing is that he wasn't giving it to doctors. He was just ripping the organs out and fucking just leaving them on the street, though.
Oh, was he? Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that part.
he was just killing them and leaving them, with his,
Well,
whoever
maybe
to
that's
find them
maybe
finds them.
back then that's what med students did. Like
It's
they're like,
fucked
okay,
up.
now I'm learning.
It's fucked up because like when you like back then, like during that time, if they saw someone dead on the side of the road, like walking to work or whatever, it's like
Like
it was in a shitty area, so
it is what it
it
is.
was like people were desensitized to it, so they weren't like too concerned
Yeah,
about the fact that there was a person laid dead on the road or
do
why
you
it
smell
happened. They
that?
just assumed that they fucking either succumb to their own bullshit, whether
Yeah.
it be drinking drugs or fucking some kind of STD that ramped out of control, like syphilis is like really like probably a bad
Mhm.
one, is like the most one that I can think of
That's what
prevalent that fucks with your head. I
they
don't know
probably
any other
just
ones.
assumed they probably just assumed somebody got syphilis and like, do you smell that, Mumford? Yes, I do. It seems somebody has the good old crotch burn. Oh, ho, 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 and they just like walk by.
Can we get a round of applause for that clap?
That shit's so funny.
What if what if what if Jack the Ripper was like had like syphilis or whatever, and he's just like fucking hallucinating and shit. It is syphilis, right? The one that fucking
Yeah, that's the one that Al Capone died from.
yeah. He was going around thinking, "Well, I'm a good doctor," and he's just going around fucking murdering people.
Thank you guys for listening. We're gonna take a quick little piss break, and we'll be right back. Matthew left for you listeners who are concerned about why there's only me and Joseph talking now. We're back. We're back at it. Jack the Ripper. He'd rip her into a couple parts. Let us tell you how.
Wait, hold on.
Starting with our honorable mentions. Emma Elizabeth Smith. Joseph gonna tell you about.
Emma Elizabeth Smith. It would have been so cool if her name continued on with the E's. Emma Elizabeth Aaron with an E? That would have been cool. Anyways, Emma Elizabeth Smith was robbed and sexually assaulted in Osborne Street, on Osborne Street, Whitechapel. In Osborne Street, Whitechapel. I'm sorry. At approximately 1:30 a.m. on April 3rd, 1888. She had been bludgeoned about the face and received a cut to her ear. A blunt object was also inserted into her vagina, rupturing her. What is that word? Peritoneum? She developed
Perineum or some shit. That's
peritonitis.
no, it's
What the?
perineum. It's something in the vagina. Who knows? I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how to say that. I don't know how to
And
say
died the
word.
following day at London Hospital. Smith stated that she had been attacked by 2 or 3 men, one of whom she described as a teenager. What the fuck? What kind of blunt object did they shove? That is some sick shit to think of.
They shoved a fucking bat in that girl's poon.
What is that word though?
Or
Periton.
what's the word after that? Paranotis?
Yeah,
She developed
peritonitis. Something.
peritonitis or whatever
Oh,
it is.
large membrane in the abdominal abdominal.
Abdominal.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, large membrane in the abdominal cavity that connects and supports internal organs is composed of many folds that pass between or around the various organs. So they shove something so far up her vagina that it got up
Yeah, did
there.
it like break through her like cervix and everything and
Holy
go through
shit.
all that
Yeah.
shit?
Wait. Okay, this is fucked up, but hear me out. There's two guys held her down and then like one shoved it in there. Did she say four attacker? It was three. Somebody's holding her down.
Dude,
Somebody
what
else
if it
shoved it
was
in there. And
dude,
dude, and
listen, Joseph.
the teenager ran up and corn dogged that thing all the way through. And then you seen the Mortal Kombat skeleton X-ray
Finisher.
thing. That is fucked up.
That's what happened before. That's
That's
what happened before he corn dogged her. He was like, finisher. And then he ran up and
he frontal corn dogged her. We call that a coney dog. and he ran up. Get him, Jerry! And he got a running start when he did this.
No, dude, but okay, so they shoved something so far up her, it like reached her fucking abdominal area, right? So, what if this is like 3 cops, dude? Because they had their fucking nightsticks, right?
Oh, maybe a billy club
Ooh.
up there. It really could.
Yeah,
have been
like a billy club, like. Well, I don't know if it says like the diameter of what the object went into was, but
he said cops or whatever, and I could just picture a cop be like,
but like
"You
if like
loco,
3
get
cops
me."
are just like, because that's
like,
not unheard of, like cops murdering prostitutes back in the day. So like if 3 of them were like, yeah, get this bitch, yeah, she made me pay 5 coins more
Yeah,
than
and then
last time.
she spit on one of the cops. It's like, Gerard, Gerard, Tommy, grab her. I'm gonna get her with my Williams stick. This is fucked up. Yeah, but it's.
I call my stick Deep Reach.
Yeah.
It's called Helm's Deep.
It's too bad that I mean, not too bad, but I mean, if they would have like shoved it up her ass instead, they would have called it. I'll call this my Billy Bottom stick.
That's
all right.
funny.
It's getting fucked up. You can go ahead and you want me to read the next one there?
If you want, and then I can read the next 2 if you want.
All right.
Go ahead.
So then there is Martha Tabram?
Tabram. Yeah, that's how I was saying Tabram.
All right. Well, she was murdered on a staircase landing in George Yard, Whitechapel on August 7th, 1888. She'd suffered 39 stab wounds to her throat, lungs, heart, liver, spleen, stomach, and abdomen, with additional knife wounds inflicted to her breast and vagina. All but one of her wounds had been inflicted with a bladed instrument such as a penknife? And with one possible exception, all the wounds had been inflicted by a right-handed individual, and Tabram had not been raped. Oh wow, that seems more like an aggressive thing.
Joseph, you know what a penknife is? It's basically a pocket knife.
Oh, okay.
It's like basically one of those ones that are like have the wood handle and you just do the basic flip up and just the one blade, you know.
That seems like whatever, because it was like what it was additional knife wounds.
I mean, it could have had more than one blade, but you know.
But I mean, if you're just like going hard, like that could have been like a.
It's your run of the mill pocket knife, though.
Yeah, and whoever did it just like stabbed. It just so happened to hit him in the fucking breast and vagina. The vagina is kind of a weirder place, but like the breast, I mean, if you're trying to aim for the chest, you're gonna hit a breast. Like that's how that works. But also Whitechapel, you were saying, was basically like the ghetto,
chest, right? You're gonna hit a breast. You're gonna hit for chest. You're gonna hit a breast.
Whitechapel was like the ghetto area, so like.
Yeah, so like it was the shittiest.
Yeah, so there's probably hella crimes, and this one came about when they're just like, oh, breast and vagina. This has to be related. I don't think that one's even related.
Well, these ones aren't related. These are honorable mentions.
Yeah, I was just saying they said that could possibly be one.
Just keep Martha in your mind when I tell you about this mind blower later. Okay? Okay.
Mind
So
blowing.
so next we have who'd you talk about? Martha, right?
Yeah, next is
So now we have
Marianne.
Marianne Nichols. The body
Dude,
of
there's a
Marianne Nichols. She was discovered about like I'd say like 3:40 a.m. on Friday, the 31st of August in 1888 in Bucks Row, Whitechapel. Nichols had last been seen alive approximately 1 hour before the discovery of her body by Miss Emily Holland, with whom she had previously shared a bed at a common lodging house. That's what they called them, the people who like let the people come in their houses and and just basically be a
yeah.
whorehouse, but not a whorehouse. It's called a lodging house. In Thrall Street. I don't know how to say that. Spitalfields? Is that how you say that?
I have no idea. Spitalfields,
Yeah,
Spitalfields,
something like that.
Spitalfields. We'll just say Spitalfield.
She was walking in the direction of Whitechapel, and her throat was severed by two deep cuts, one of which completely severed all the tissue down to the vertebrae. Her vagina had been stabbed twice, and the lower part of her abdomen was partly ripped open by a deep, jagged wound, causing her bowels to protrude. Several other incisions inflicted to both sides of her abdomen, sorry, abdomen, had also been caused by the same knife. Each of these wounds had been inflicted in a downward thrusting manner.
Damn.
Sorry, my fucking nose is stuffy. So sorry if I sound nasally.
Feels so good. No, I'm just kidding. It's not that bad.
It's goddamn. Well, I feel like it sounds worse to myself. I don't know if it sounds much different to you or not.
Bad.
But so after Marianne, that happened on Friday, August 31st, and then we have Annie Chapman that happened on Saturday, September 8th, 1888, and her body was discovered around 6 a.m. near the steps to the doorway of the backyard of 29th Hanbury Street, Spitalfield. As in the case of Marianne Nichols, the throat was severed by two deep cuts. Her abdomen had been cut entirely open, with a section of her flesh of her stomach being placed upon her left shoulder, and another section of her skin and flesh, plus her small intestines, being removed and placed above her right shoulder. Chapman's autopsy also revealed that her uterus and sections of her bladder and vagina had been removed. At the inquest into Chapman's murder, Elizabeth Long described having seen Chapman standing outside 29 Hanbury Street at about 5:30 in the company of a dark-haired man wearing a brown deer stalker hat and
The fuck
covered
is a
and a
deer
dark
stalker hat?
overcoat. I don't know. I'm picturing like a hat with like deer horns. I don't know.
With it all the way down in front of his eyes, he's just staring at her
Like
across the
like
street.
it's like he's like wearing a bowler hat with like a $10 fucking antlers on his head.
Big ass fucking. He's scary. And not only that, he's a stalker, but those are the biggest antlers I've ever seen. He's obviously really good at hunting his prey.
And
I'll
so
pray he doesn't get me.
I'm gonna look up a deer stalker hat. Let me hold
Yeah,
on.
because now I'm more interested in the deer hat now.
I kind of want to make that hat though. Oh, it's like a fucking who's that motherfucker? The
Oh, I see, like a Sherlock
investigator.
Holmes hat.
Yeah, that
Okay.
guy. I couldn't think of his fucking name. Yeah, like a Sherlock Holmes hat. Okay.
Oh, I see. He's just like Sherlock Holmes. He's trying to investigate me knickers.
So he's wearing a Sherlock Holmes hat, and according to eyewitness, the man had asked Chapman this question: "Will you?" To which Chapman replied, "Yes." And that was the end of that. And so these next two, Elizabeth Stride and oh wait, actually I think I fucked up.
What?
I think the next two were the ones that were. Oh no, maybe I'm stupid. Never mind. Go ahead, continue.
Are these
Oh
honorable
no, that's
mentions?
why.
Did
Okay,
we-
never mind. Never mind. I'm stupid. I put some shit in some red words, so I didn't fuck up this part, but I just fucked it up anyway. I was like, I was gonna say, so these next two, Elizabeth Stride and Catherine and Downs, were both killed in the early mornings of Sunday, September 30th
30th.
of 1888. And the
So
reason
these.
why I put it in red because they were on the same day. That's why.
Oh, okay. So they were both killed the same day. So
Yeah, that's
Elizabeth
why I put that in
Stride.
red. But I thought I put that in the red because the next two were the two that were my honorable mentions. I was like, oh shit, I fucked it
Oh
up.
wait, so these aren't the honorable mention ones. These are all the ones that were actually killed.
All the ones with the little asterisks next to them, like so Marianne Nichols, Annie Chapman, and now Elizabeth Stride that we're about to talk about, and then
Are the
Catherine
actual.
and Downs. Yeah, all the ones that have the little star in the beginning of their name are all the main ones. The only two that were honorable mentions was Emma Smith and Martha Tabaram. The
Oh,
first
okay.
two you read.
Gotta make sure it's the same page here. Okay, so we got
Yeah, so
Elizabeth Stride, whose body was discovered at approximately 1 a.m. That what? Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
In Dutfield's yard off Burner Street. Okay, so there's Elizabeth Stride who died at 1 in the morning on Sunday, September 30th, right? 1888.
yeah.
Okay, so her cause of death was a single clear cut incision measuring 6 inches across her neck, which had severed her left carotid.
Carotid.
Yeah, I can't say that. Artery. Yeah, and her trachea before terminating beneath her right jaw. The absence of any further mutilation to her body has led to uncertainty as to whether Stride's murder was committed by the Ripper or whether he was interrupted during the attack. Several witnesses later informed police they had seen Stride in the company of a man in or close to Burner Street at the evening of September 29th and in the early hours of September 30th, but each gave differing descriptions. Some said that her companion was fair, others dark. Some said that he was shabbily dressed, others well dressed.
You know what's
Oh,
funny about the well dressed thing? I guess
you'd be
all
more
the
noticeable if you're well
aristocrats at the
dressed.
time. I guess there was a I keep saying it's driving me fucking crazy. All the aristocrats at the time, they were like fascinated by the idea of Jack the Ripper. Like it's like, oh yeah, Jack the Ripper, he's killing all these fucking whore peasants. But they thought it was well, like one of their like aristocrat people, like one of the higher up people. And they were so like in what's the word? Delved
They were so
embellished.
fucking.
They were involved so like deep involved into this mindset that like one of their people are doing this
Yeah.
and they
There we
love the
go.
idea of it.
It's about time somebody did God's work.
They were just excited that like somebody in their social class was
Doing something
know?
epic. Yeah.
yeah doing the Lord's work.
Yeah. So, Catherine Eddowes loved well endowed men. I'm just kidding. We don't know that. Maybe. We don't
Catherine
know
the
for-
well endowed.
Catherine the well endowed. Her body was found in a corner of Miltree Square. Is that how you say that? In the city of London. 3/4 of an hour. Mitri? Maybe.
Maybe
Oh.
I
Oh,
I don't speak French.
She was found 3/4 of an hour after the discovery of the body of Elizabeth Stride. Her throat was severed from ear to ear, and her abdomen ripped open by a long, deep, and jagged wound before intestines had been placed over her right shoulder, with a section of intestine being completely detached and placed between her body and left arm. The left kidney and the major part of her uterus had been removed, and her face had been disfigured with her nose severed. Her cheeks slashed and cuts measured 1/4 of an inch and a half, an inch respectively vertically incised through each of her eyelids. Triangular incision. The apex. Well, see, what was happening was the guy fucked up and he was trying to make the Triforce from Zelda, and it wasn't happening.
He's like, fuck, God damn it. Start scratching shit out. Like, never mind.
The triangular incision, the apex of which pointed towards her eyes, Endow's eyes, however you say her name, Endow's, had also been
Endow's.
carved upon each of her cheeks, and a section of the oracle, I don't know, and lobe of her right ear was later recovered from her clothing. The police surgeon who conducted the post-mortem upon the well-endowed's body stated his opinion these mutilations would have taken at least 5 minutes to complete. Damn, not very long at all. A local cigarette salesman named Joseph Lawrence, ooh, another Joe, had passed through the square with two friends shortly before the murder, and he described seeing a fair-haired man of shabby appearance with a woman who may have been the well-endowed. Lawland, is it Lawland? Did I say Lawrence?
I
I
didn't
don't
hear you
even
say
know.
Lawrence the first time, so
I have no idea. Anyways, his companions were unable to confirm his description. The murders of Stride and the well endowed ultimately became known as the double event. Well, that sounds fun.
Double trouble.
Double trouble.
Hey, Jack the Ripper used double time.
Double time. Break it down. He doubled down. That's, or as they used to call it back, the hipsters used to call it the Dubs event. A section of
Dubs
the well
Trubs.
a section of the well-endowed bloody apron was found at the entrance to a tenement in Golston Street, Whitechapel, at 2:55 a.m. A chalk inscription upon the wall directly above this piece of apron read, "The Jewess."
It's
What
Jews.
the fuck is it? Jews? Okay, are the men
Yeah,
that
this
will
is how
not
they
be
write it.
blamed for nothing. Not be blamed for nothing. Okay. This graffito became known as the Golston
Graffiti.
Street graffito. Oh, graffiti? Why does it say graffito?
It's French talking, motherfucker.
Graffito.
Graffito.
The Jews,
Jews.
the Jews are the men that will not be blamed for nothing.
Yeah,
This
it's
graffito
graffiti.
became known as the Golston Street graffito. The message
Graffito.
appeared to imply
That
that a
sounds like
Jew
a
or
sauce.
Jews. God, dude, that sounds like a good sauce, actually. Now I want spaghetti. All right.
There we go.
The message appeared to imply that a Jew or Jews general were responsible for the. That sounds very. That did not sound very good coming out of my mouth. That they were responsible for the series of murders, but it's unclear whether the graffito.
That's gonna
was
be our
written by
fucking
the
TikTok
murderer on the
audio
drop
clip.
date.
The Jews are fucking.
The section of apron.
Jew or Jews were in general responsible for the series of murder, and them you have a picture of Hitler in the background.
Or is merely incidental to nothing to do with the case. Such graffiti was commonplace in Whitechapel. Police Commissioner Charles Morton feared that the graffiti might spark anti-Semitic riots and ordered the writing washed away before dawn. Oh, this is so much
Typical
free.
government shit, trying to fucking cover up the truth. If the Jews were guilty, let them be guilty, you know?
Damn.
No, just kidding. No, it's fucked up. No, but
This has
really,
been sponsored by Casey A. Doff.
no, but really, well, I'm sure he's gonna cut probably a lot of that shit, but like the graffiti on the wall, I guess if it was a common occurrence, but unless it was like something like that was like super close to that, I feel like they should have not erased it, you know? At least without taking some evidence down. I don't know how chain of command worked back then. So our last of our what's it, the Jackson 5?
The Jackson 5. It's the Jackson 5. And that should be the episode. And that should be the name of the episode, the Jackson 5. Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper, the Jackson 5.
People go on YouTube and look up to Jackson 5. It's like Jack the Ripper and Jackson 5. What the fuck? And they go click on it and they just have us talking about, just obviously about Jack the Ripper, but I'd have to have like a preview clip of this part so everybody understood what the fuck was going on.
Well, we should call it Jack the Ripper, the Jackson 5, or Victims, the Jackson 5, or something. Something along those lines. I
Jack
don't
the
know.
Ripper ripped in 5.
The Rippin'. So we got Mary Jane Kelly.
Voldemort
the
had
last of the-
7 Horcruxes. How many do you think Jack the Ripper had? Well, he had at least 5 we know of.
So these, so Mary Jane Kelly, the last of the Jackson 5.
Hey, Jack Kelly.
I didn't know if you wanted to do it.
Oh no, I'll read it. You read the last 2.
All right.
Mary Jane Kelly, this lovely lady. She was extensively mutilated and disemboweled. Mary Jane Kelly was discovered lying on the bed in a single room, where she lived at 13 Miller's Court off of Dorset Street, Spitalfield, at 10:45 a.m. on Friday, November 9th, 1888. Her face had been hacked beyond all recognition. Her throat had been severed down to the spine. The abdomen almost emptied of its organs. Her uterus, kidneys, and one of her breasts had been placed beneath her head. The other viscera, is that how you say that? From her body, placed beside her foot. About
Viscera? I don't know.
Viscera.
I don't
Oh,
know.
that sounds better. Viscera. About the midsection of her abdomen and thighs upon the bedside table. Her heart was missing from the crime scene. Multiple ashes found within the fireplace at 13 Miller's Court suggested Kelly's murderer had burned several combustible items to illuminate the single room as he mutilated her body. A recent fire had been severe enough to melt the solder between the kettle and spout, which had fallen into a grate of the fireplace.
So Mary Jane Kelly, good old MJ. I think it's safe to assume that Jack the Ripper was more of a Gwen Stacy fan.
Oh, dude, the way that she got fucking murdered was. Do you know how hard it'd be to slash someone's throat, like to cut someone's throat all the way down to their spine? That's at the back of your fucking neck,
Dude,
man.
this
It's
guy
not-
is a Mortal Kombat character. If they don't put him in the next fucking Mortal Kombat game,
He's
I'm gonna
fucking
be pretty
Get
pissed.
over here!
Get over here.
That's why it only took him 5 minutes, because he fucking dragged that bitch with his fucking spear web thing. His Spider-Man spear shit.
He was a straight Mortal Kombat character. He had to be really good. Like, I mean, he must have had practice doing all that shit. Trained in the arts. I mean, just, I don't know. Like, I mean, not like, just to do it that fast. I don't know. Maybe he's really good at hacking shit. Maybe he was a butcher.
Well,
I
it's
was always curious of what it'd be like to butcher a fucking human being like he does his animals. Or her animals. Let's not judge. It's just going around fucking. I don't know. I lost my joke there. No, I lost it.
We're gonna go to break. We're gonna take a quick piss, and we'll be right back.
Hey everyone, thank you for sticking with us here at the Conspiracy Outpost. You know, if you think we could be doing anything better, you can go ahead and just leave us a comment wherever and whatever platform you're using. We do have a Patreon, so I heard, and it's only $4 a month.
It's 2, 3, and 4.
2, 3, or
$4 get you our bonus show.
Okay, yeah. So we got something currently going on with the VSQ universe, just talking about the movies. You know, they're great movies. Kevin Smith is fucking awesome. But just fork over a couple of dollars. Not that big of a deal, guys. Come on. Come on. Don't be assholes. Anyways, so we also got our Gilmore's Keep episodes running along with our Conspiracy Outpost ones. Really good. I apologize for any inconsistencies in the story, maybe. We, again, I can't stress this enough. You know, we're very new at this, and we also drink way too much.
Also on our Patreon, if you guys want to listen to us talk about, because we do our D&D episodes in like 3 tiers. So it's like every 3 episodes we do an after show. So, but this last one we're going to be running to 4 episodes because our last one has a part 2. But after that part 2, we will be doing an after show about those. So if you guys want to hear those, get on our Patreon and listen to us talk about our fucking bullshit that we do on our not D&D but our role playing fucking podcast for the final
Let's get back
theory of the night. So here's my favorite theory. It's fucking wild. I know you're gonna enjoy it, Joseph. So it's kind of long, so we might take a couple breaks, do some like bullshit in between, but we'll see. Okay, so in 1888, at the age of 35, Van Gogh was looking to create something unique in art for the upcoming expedition in 1889 World's Fair in Paris. Over that summer, he created a persona to murder by he named it Jack the Ripper, revealing this to the people of London through the threatening letters he sent to the police and newspapers. Acting on his fantasies, Vincent traveled to London again and again to kill as Jack the Ripper. He repeated the sense of power from the murders and turned the blood and spilled into paint, gaining the uniqueness in the art he was after.
he's got a fucking whole Jekyll and Hyde thing going on. By day, I am a magnificent creator, and by night, I am the same thing, but also a murderer. I don't know.
But Vincent Van Gogh was a murderer long before he transformed into Jack the Ripper. He made his first kill 15 years prior in 1873 when, at the age of 20, full of ambition, he was transferred to London from Holland by Holland in May by Galoopis. I don't know how to say that word. The arts dealer he worked for. It was believed he was first lived in Battersea area. Then he moved to Brixton in August. On September 5th, just 5 days before his mother's birthday on September 10th, the body parts of an unidentified woman were discovered floating in the river Thames. The police concluded the pieces were thrown in at the Battersea. Vincent had moved, and then he had murdered from there. So basically, where he was at, there were some body parts thrown in at the sea. There was already some murders going on that where he was already at. But let me continue deeper into this.
Yeah, you Van Gogh on that shit.
9 months later, he was rejected by his landlady's 19-year-old daughter. Vincent then
Nobody
killed
rejects
again.
me.
This
shall
time,
then go
only the
forward.
lower half of a woman's body was found in the Thames. Vincent had been rejected and then murdered again because of his frustration. So
Wait,
he
so
killed.
so the upper half was not found?
Yeah, it was just the lower half that was found in the
Well, I'd
in
say
the
that's
Thames
a
River.
waste of a body. See what I did there? The waist down. You got quite a waist down to go. I don't know. Fuck
It's a
you.
lot to shoulder
Enough
that he
laugh.
has to deal
I
with.
need a fucking soundboard with laughs. Because
Did you hear me?
I get one more awkward silence, I'm gonna scream. Yeah, I heard you.
No, I said that was probably a lot for him to shoulder. Because he took the upper half, shoulder.
Oh yeah. See?
Yeah, see? People don't catch
Fuck.
on too quick, you piece of shit. Gonna bring up a laughing soundboard.
That's actually what I'm doing.
This
right
is
now.
filmed
I'm
in
gonna
front of a
save
live
it.
studio audience.
I have this saved, so every time we do this, I will have one.
While you do that, I'm gonna continue reading. During the years that followed, Vincent gave up on being an art dealer to become a preacher like his father. But after several attempts at this, he failed and he turned to painting. His younger brother, Theo, then began to support him financially, which he continued to do faithfully for 10 years. Vincent moved back home to Holland with his parents, but then he was thrown out later by his father on Christmas due to a trouble he had created by dodgily declaring his love for his widowed cousin. Then in 1885, after Vincent had moved back home yet again, his preacher father was subsequently found dead one fine Sunday on the threshold of his home. Because of the relentless arguing with his father, Vincent's sisters and others blamed him indirectly for his father's sudden and unexpected death, but the evidence shows that Vincent was more directly responsible and that, in fact, that he had laid hands on the preacher father and had killed him. He was already an established killer after all. Sorry, these are all speculation notes that I'm reading, and I didn't realize they all had like little fucking like, oh, this happened after all. Like, I didn't know there was like little endings on them. I was just reading them. I wish I would have proofread these notes.
Sorry, I found what I was looking for.
But oh, go ahead.
No, that's fine. I was trying to get a good one out.
Well, then, okay, so Vincent invited himself to his brother Theo's apartment in Paris in March 1886, but Theo had a problem. An ex-girlfriend was living in this apartment who wouldn't move out. She was referred to only as S. Then Theo took a trip back to Holland later that year and wrote to Vincent, and then that either she moves out or that he will offer to take S off his hands. Even jokingly, he would marry her if necessary. During the time Theo was away, body parts of an unidentified woman were found deposited in the street urinals in Paris. Vincent had solved the S problem, and she was never found again. She was never heard from again, leading to believe that Vincent Van Gogh had killed her.
And then eventually he got bored of it, and then Vincent Van stopped.
Well, murdering was like a muse for him for his paintings. So then Vincent then made a trip back to London from Paris in 1887 for another murder. Just as with the first two murders in London, a woman's body parts were found floating in the Thames. It was then early in February 1888. Vincent moved to south of France, seeking something unique for the upcoming World's Fair in Paris. He knew that he would have to murder to get the uniqueness in his paintings. And from August to December, Vincent made trips to London to kill 7 women under the disguise of what he created, the persona of Jack the Ripper. He also killed another woman for his mother's birthday using the previous method, making the total killed that he the total people that he killed in that year was 8. Sorry, I don't know why I fucking eyeballs blurred out for a second. I couldn't read.
Yeah, that's a Vincent Van No.
That sounds like that
was Ace Ventura.
I was gonna say it sounds like those crabs from Rick and Morty, like hey, this guy gets it. That's something they do every few seconds.
Aw. Oh man.
At the end of this flurry of murdering and painting that Vincent would cut off his ear in December of 1888, he was in and out of the hospital at the beginning of 1889 before willingly committing himself at Theo's expense. Yeah, I'm going to commit myself. My brother's going to pay for it. Don't worry. To a nearby asylum, he eventually colluded to the asylum director into allowing him to go in and out of the country to paint for several days at a time. And as soon as he obtained this privilege, Vincent used it to travel back to London to kill 3 more women in 1889. One acting as Jack the Ripper, and 2 more acting as what has become known as the Torso Killer. In 1890, Vincent moved from Alvarez to be closer to Theo in Paris. He hoped this would keep Theo paying for his finances after Theo's wife gave birth to their first child. But Theo threatened to pull his support, so Vincent shot himself in the stomach and died on July 29th, 1890. With Theo by his side, Theo then lost his mind from overwhelming grief and guilt and died 6 months later, showing the manipulative power of Vincent possessed about his caring brother's life. That's crazy, because
That plot, Vincent Van Gogh.
Vincent Van Gogh was in London at all the times that all those murders were committed. Plus, Theo's girlfriend was a fucking troublemaker, and she just magically disappeared when Vincent was staying with her. I don't know. It sounds pretty convincing to me. I don't know what your thoughts are about that. I don't know how much you listen to that either.
I was listening. I'm just also drunk. And when I get drunk, I don't remember things too well. Well, I thought it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, the Van Gogh thing, I think that's pretty cool. Like, if it was him, like, he was just killing for fucking inspiration. That's fucking wild.
That would make a good movie, honestly. You should watch that. You should watch that fucking the Johnny Depp one. I watched it when I was younger. I thought it was cool. I mean, maybe it doesn't hold up anymore, but I thought it was, I thought it was cool.
We'll see. I'm sure it's good.
But then again, I mean, I like Johnny Depp, and back then I wanted to get Johnny deep in his ass. You know what I'm saying?
Something I wanted to get. I love Johnny Depp, but I wanted him to get depth in my ass.
There we go. Oh man! So, what are we about? Cover everything?
Yeah, that Van Gogh was the last of what I had on my topic, like on my end, because I'm the only one who ever does fucking research or anything.
I'm sorry. Well, then I think that wraps it up there, right there.